We got one NHL game on the slate tonight. It's game 2 of the second round series between the Lightning and Hurricanes. I have questions. These three have answers. We have DraftKings contributor Geoff Ulrich, Rotowire's Paul Bruno, and AJ Scholz. But first things first here, guys. Nothing says nature is healing quite like the Maple Leafs losing in the first round. Blowing a 3-1 series lead in Game 7 against Montreal. Haven't won a playoff series since 2004. That's when Ken Jennings was still busy winning 74 straight Jeopardy games. Paul, let's start with you, buddy. What major changes you think are on the way this offseason in Toronto? A team you thought was going to win this thing.
You know what? The way I see it, there are two options. While the franchise has lost 5 straight first-round series, it's the first loss as the favorite in a playoff series for this core group of players, only one of whom is over the age of 25. That's the captain, John Tavares. Do they deserve another chance? Some say yes. That's what's behind door number 1. If you believe that, then drive on. If you don't agree with that option, then we're talking about what's behind door number 2, and that highlights the only team in the league which has spent over $40 million in their 4 core players, one of whom was injured 10 minutes into Game 1 of this series. The other 2 combined for 1 goal over the 7-game set, and only one of the guys who showed up was Willie Nylander, leading the club with 5 goals. We need to acknowledge that this team's cap situation is made worse by the fact that the league-wide salary cap has not risen and is not rising anytime soon, owing to the impact of the pandemic and overall flat league-wide revenues. An unprecedented time in the NHL for sure. Because of that fact and the poor playoff results, one of the top 4 players needs to be traded in this scenario to create some salary cap flexibility. Some are leaning on Mitch Marner to be that guy. Even then, that'll be a sell low scenario, as this core has now failed in 3 straight first rounds, all told, while some have even been part of the 5 straight failures. I pin this outcome of roster construction and lay these issues at the feet of the architect. That's one Kyle Dubas, the general manager.
All right, Paul, spoken like a true Maple Leafs faithful. Geoff, anything to add to that? That was a fantastic delivery, very passionate, and Paul looks like he's about to cry.
Yeah, look, as a fan of another Canadian team who spends all its money on like 2 players, the Leafs, I don't think you're going to see drastic changes. They still have to resign like Zach Hyman. What are they going to do with Nick Foligno? It'll probably look quite similar to last year. I don't think they're in that bad a shape. They've certainly solidified some goaltending with Jack Campbell. You got to like that move. Give them another year. There's really not much more we can do. We saw San Jose, a similar team, once be very successful just in trying to, finally break down the wall with some superstars. So I think you'll see a similar team with Toronto, whether the fans want it or not next year.
AJ, how bad do you feel for your partner in crime, Paul, right now?
I don't feel bad for him at all. I'm enjoying it, guys, honestly. No, I mean, it's obviously tough to watch that happen. I had it happen to my Penguins as well. And look, Paul brought up the cap situation, so I'll bring up my almost yearly reminder with Paul that they're still giving Phil Kessel $1.2 million a year to play elsewhere, including winning a pair of Stanley Cups with my Penguins.
Oh, man. All right, boys. Let's try to stop being sad and start being awesome here, shall we? As for tonight, Tampa is up in the series 1-0. We, of course, have a showdown contest for this one available in the DK lobby. So you can give us your captain for this contest if you don't mind. AJ, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I got to keep continuing to ride Sebastian Aho here. He's been my guy throughout the postseason when I'm playing a Canes showdown slate here. Sure, I have some concerns about the fact that he only put 2 shots on net in the last game when you consider he logged 5:51 of ice time with the man advantage. But look, that's his lowest shot total since before the playoffs began. I'm confident he's going to continue to put pucks on net and can opt for top fantasy value heading into game 2 here.
All right, Paul, who you want to captain tonight, buddy?
Well, I like the pick on Aho for sure, and I'll help build that case, but I'm also on the starting goalie, Alex Nedeljkovic. He allowed only 2 goals in the first game loss. He'll cost you 15.6 overall. Sebastian Aho, a little more cheaper out of there at 14.6. Look, I don't expect Carolina to lose 2 straight games at home to start this series. I expect this one to go the distance, and so I'm backing the Carolina team in a big way. So if you don't take Aho, take the goalie, because he's going to come up with a high game score if the Canes do win, and I expect that they do so.
Geoff, 1.5 times the salary, but 1.5 times the points, buddy.
I mean, I had two captain's picks written down, and one of them Sebastian Aho, and the other one is Nedeljkovic. So I guess I don't have too much to add here. Nedeljkovic has great home splits as well. I think you're going to see a very concerted effort by Carolina. You may even see a shutout here. It wouldn't shock me. So I do really like that pick. Aho's obviously a little bit more boom or bust. He's got to find the net here really to pay off for you in a showdown format, but he's certainly capable of the multi-goal night. He would be the forward I would target on the Canes tonight if you're going to go that way.
Well, Geoff, I'll let you lead this one off. Where would you look for some value in your lineup tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we'll stay with the Canes here. I mean, I think Martin Necas is, I wouldn't call him a must roster, but I mean, at 6,800, this is a player who's just been extremely active for the Hurricanes in the playoffs, plays in their second line, but he's just such a versatile player. I mean, 6 shots on goal in game 1. This is a guy who's just kind of come into his own this year, gets power play time, plays with an offensive center and Vincent Trocheck a lot. I love Necas as a player, and I think that at under 7K, just with the production he's had in the playoffs, just shots on goal and just everything, just assists and everything. He's really good value there at 6,800. So you could also look to a guy like Slavin there at 5,800 just for some block shots if you think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But I think Necas has really good upside for 6,800.
AJ, how about some value tonight? What do you got?
Well, I'm going to look on the other side for the value. I am going to stack the Canes in the showdown here, but my one guy for the Lightning is going to be Anthony Cirelli. He comes in at 4,400. I mean, that's just a steal for a guy playing top 6 on the second line with Stamkos and Killorn. Not to mention, he does get some opportunities with the number 2 power play unit. They don't see as much ice time as the first group, but those chances are there. He's on a 3-game point streak, but I'll turn to shot rate here and mention that he's got 10 shots during that 3-game slump, and another good opportunity. If there's not a shutout, as Geoff said, Cirelli could be one of the guys to chip in here.
Oh, help the people save some money tonight, but someone who could maybe exceed that price.
Well, Geoff has learned about my sidekick theory on these hits that we do together, and AJ's learned at the feet of the master. I'm on his call with Anthony Cirelli. The sidekick theory tells you that he's playing with Killorn and Stamkos on that scoring line, but my primary choice is on the guys I expect to win tonight, and that's the first line for Carolina carrying the day. Brock McGinn is playing alongside Aho and Teravainen on that top line. Those two guys cost you a lot more than McGinn will at $5,400. He's pouring almost 4 shots on goal per game in his last 5 starts and has a couple of multi-point efforts along the way. So he's my primary pick in this segment.
AJ, let's take a look at the DK Sportsbook here. Carolina favorite tonight on the money line, but it's close, minus 113. So what is your favorite bet from this one?
Well, the Canes have been my favorites for the Cup winners all postseason here, and that's not changing even with the Game 1 result. I'll take them at that minus 113 and basically what's a coin flip here. And I'll even double down on my Aho DFS recommendation by taking him plus 148 to score a goal tonight. I would even consider looking at 2+ points for him at plus 300 as well. I just think it's going to be a good bounce back game for the Hurricanes, and there's some solid opportunity in both those bids.
Geoff, what are you doing for this one on the DK Sportsbook?
Yeah, I'm admittedly a little bit shaken by the fact that the Canes lost game 1, but I really still like them. I think they're actually still a good Stanley Cup futures target too. So you could even head into that futures arena. You know, they're at plus 1,300 right now on the DraftKings Sportsbook to win the Stanley Cup. Possibly a good hedging opportunity if they got to the finals. But for tonight, I like going to the puck line. Again, I think a shutout is very possible here. We've seen Tampa Bay when they've been bad, they've been pretty bad. Like, I mean, Florida beat them 4-1. You know, towards the end of the season, they were losing games by 2 or 3 goals. I could see Carolina bouncing back in a big way here, and maybe Tampa just takes the night off. You know, again, and is happy with the split. I think that scenario is very much one of the more popular ones that could work itself out here. So plus 240 on the puck line, Carolina to cover that minus 1.5. I like that one tonight.
Paul, bring us home.
I think the team betting lines and the over-under are too flat to attract me in this matchup, so I'm spending money on my player prop picks, which are only a little less vanilla, guys. As I said earlier, I don't expect the Canes to lose 2 straight at home, so I say that the smarter bet is, like AJ said, take Aho at plus 148, and if you want to take a slightly bigger risk, go with his line mate, Toivo Teravainen, to score a goal at plus 240.